Hey Lunatics Collective. These are your readings for the 13th and 14th of September 2019. The time surrounding and following the full moon in Pisces that we have today and tomorrow, I believe, right? So this will be our lunar pool for the 13th and 14th both. Of course, the timing's going to be different for everyone. Slightly different, right? Timing being fluid, but we are going to do 12 readings, one for each of the zodiac signs, of course. The card that fell out for the collective is the Two of Swords, the Two of Air, an energy of being of two minds, having a decision to make, needing to make a decision before it is made for us by someone else or circumstance. And on the bottom of the deck is then the Three of Air, the Three of Swords, talking about miscommunications, disappointing communications, even heartbreaking communications, especially in this particular depiction here in the Deviant Moon Tarot deck that I am using. If you are interested in this deck or any of the decks that I use on Lunatics Tarot readings, just scroll down to the description box below where you can find all of that information. So it looks like a lot of decisions need to be made, a lot of disappointing communications need to be spoken. Healing needs to begin. Decisions need to be made, and healing needs to begin. Yeah, I do get the feeling that some are rushing in with heartbreaking truths that need to be delivered. Coming off as disrespectful even. Someone here is having trouble walking away. So I think it will go both ways, since this is these are the messages for the collective. For some it will be you, for others it will be someone that you are close to, that you're interacting with, dealing with this heartbreak, having trouble walking away. And for a lot of us, this Three of Air shows up as miscommunication or missed communication. Because communications are rushed, someone really just may misunderstand someone else. And we see, as I said, this need to begin healing here. And something else that stands out to me in this particular depiction here in the Deviant Moon Tarot is that she seems to touch one of the swords as if asking, to herself if she's responsible for putting it there. And so I do think some of this is about miscommunication. For a lot of us, likely regarding some important decision that we have to make, or someone we're interacting closely with around the Pisces full moon has to make. Again, someone is of two minds. Someone is peacefully armed with information that they have to share with others. Like I said, possibly this heartbreaking truth. We want to be careful here, all of us, of overthinking something that we think is a heartbreaking communication from someone else. We may just be overthinking, and to certainly, as always, make time around this full moon for meditation as well. Frequent meditation. So even if they're short sessions, back to back, consistently, every day, multiple times, right? Frequent meditation. So that is what we see coming through for the collective. And with that, we will move on to Pisces. The Fool comes through for Pisces. We'll see if that shows up again for us, though. I want to shuffle up just a little bit more. For Pisces, surrounding this full moon in Pisces. 2 cards wanted to come out. The 8 of Fire and the 4 of Pentacles. So Pisces, with the 4 of Fire here, the 4 of Wands or Rods here. The 4 of Wands is talking to us about fast movement, expedited progress, so that looks great. A lot of communication, a lot of progress on passion projects of yours, speeding up around this Pisces full moon, supported by that energy, right? And what you want to be careful about is that you are not communicating and acting and working so quickly that you miss important information, important communications, or specific meanings of certain communications, right? Or just, important information trying to come into you in general from the multiverse, from the divine, or from people that you are working on those passion projects with, that you are seeing expedited progress or fast movement with in your life at this time in any area, right? Likely something that you're passionate about. A creative project, a spiritual project, even perhaps a love interest for some of you, something that is meaningful to you in that way. And then with the 4 of Pentacles here, this 4 of Earth energy is talking about being very protective of one's boundaries. So with that 4 of Earth energy, along with both of these energies, the bottom of the deck has the Justice card showing up in its reverse, right? And I really feel like I see someone trying to steal someone's time, abusing their time, their energy, or someone needing to steal time for themselves. So with this energy of protecting your boundaries here, while a lot of communication or expedited progress is happening for you, likely in a passion project or some passion of yours, as these 8 of Wands show up. This 8 of Fire shows up also as, something spiritual or creative, something that you're very passionate about, or it's very intense, heated conversations, maybe something like that, right? So this protecting your boundaries is going to show up then as you needing to either save some time for yourself during a time of chaos for you, during a time of a lot of productivity, a lot of fast movement in something that you're passionate about, and or a lot of communication in something that you're passionate about. So you really want to protect your boundaries to make sure that there's not some vital information coming in here that you're missing, right? There's this piece of information, this piece of miscommunication that you may miss somehow. Or, it's showing up as wanting to protect your boundaries here because, as I said, someone may be abusing your time, abusing your energy in some way, stealing your attention, stealing your focus, and so your energy again and again when you need it for yourself or work or your relationship or all the above, right? Or passion project, etc. We really need it for other things. Also, with the Justice card in reverse, this could be that some of you, because of all of this expedited progress but not feeling like you have enough time for yourself, simply don't feel ready for Libra season at this time. Others of you may be dealing with a Libra in general who is either in need of your time and attention and you need to save some time for them, but it also could be that there is a Libra who is trying to take too much of your time, of course, that you need to protect your boundaries from. This could also be talking about the Justice card, the legalities of a situation, right? So it may be, if you have a legal situation going on at this time, Pisces, it may be that that is the area in which you miss a piece of vital information because you have such limited time, and an important reason that you need to prioritize and protect your boundaries. X amount of time needs to go to self-care, X amount of time needs to go to you focusing on and dealing with that case, right? And so, you know, other things like friends or work, something like that, may need to be put on the back burner, just a rechecking in with your priorities before you miss a vital piece of information about an important legal case, if that is something that's relevant for you. But certainly we see an imbalance, right, in terms of how your boundaries are being protected, how your time is being spent during a time of tons of communication and or progress in at least certain areas of your life, right? So whether it's too much or too little, it's asking for a correction here. It's talking about that being what you need to make sure you see balance in, so that your communications are clear, would be in the warning if there was one. So that is what we see for Pisces, surrounding and following your full moon, Pisces. I hope the needed insight was able to reach you there. Your card, the moon card, shows as well. Full moon in Pisces. Brilliant, right? But that is where we will leave your message for now, Pisces. And if you are in need of a personal reading, if you would like to order one from me, the information is down below in the description box, as always. And with that, we will move on to Cancer, I believe. Hey, Cancer. Let's see what messages want to come through for you during the Pisces full moon. Three of Earth, Three of Pentacles here. You have the Nine of Wands, Nine of Fire on the bottom of the deck. Cancers. I think a lot of you are engaging in work that you love to do right now, perhaps engaging in necessary collaborations in order to do the work that you love to do. You are affecting the community around you, influencing at least, you know, your peers, your inner circle, but for some of you, a much larger community than that. Some of you, this has been a long time coming at this point, Cancers. You are done waiting to begin this work, done waiting for someone perhaps that your mind was preoccupied with, and so it could not focus on that work that you loved to do before. But it looks like you're stepping out of that energy now. And Cancers, I think this Three of Coins here, this Three of Earth energy, is reminding you to be aware that some people may be missing your presence as you are really buried in the work that you're loving to do. You're not noticing the time passing, and I do think it's positive work. A lot of you are necessarily getting swept up in this work and or collaboration here, and so the message is not so much for you, but some of you do need to be mindful of those people who are missing your presence because of it. Some of them, some of you. And your other card on the bottom of the deck, your Nine of Fire here, may also be telling us that you might need some help in what you're working on. So if you are not engaged in a necessary collaboration currently, you may be wanting to consider that at this time, right? Collaborate with someone in terms of the work that you're loving to do. Ask for help where it's needed, or accept help where it has been offered or where you see it offered soon. Cancers. I think you can, even if it is a necessary collaboration, I think you can make it a playful one, most of you. Try to, certainly, because even if you don't want to collaborate with other people long term, you may need to currently to learn some skills so that you could work on your own or something like that, or take those skills into a different collaboration or something like that, right? Something of that nature. Because the Nine of Wands is also saying that could also be saying to you, Cancers, to keep in mind that you're even if you can make this collaboration a playful one, and you should have a positive attitude here. As I said, I think it's work that you truly love to be doing. That positive attitude is not going to substitute for the hard work and the knowledge acquired, right? And I don't think you're trying to get away from that hard work, but acquiring that knowledge may have to do with this necessary collaboration. The hardest part of the work may be that necessary collaboration for you, Cancers. So that's what we see showing up for you around this Pisces full moon, Cancers. If you are interested in ordering a personal reading from me, all of the information you would need is down below in the description, as always. And I hope that the needed insight was able to reach you there. And with that, we will move on to Scorpios. Hey, Scorpios. Let's see what's going on for you around the Pisces full moon. In 2019, of course, in Virgo season, of course. How is mutable earth and mutable water treating you, fixed water? This is for the time really surrounding and following that Pisces full moon that we are experiencing currently, Scorpios. So far, what has come through for you was the King of Cups, but it was in the reverse when I was shuffling with the deck for you. Now we have the Temperance card. Needing to find balance, it seems. The 3 and Queen of Earth of Pentacles also flew out of the deck, so we'll keep that in mind. And the bottom of the deck is the Lover's card, also in reverse. Some of you are standing on your own in some area of your life at this time, or in general in your life, with the Lover's card reversed on the bottom of the deck. Some of you may have been dealing with a Gemini energy around this time, specifically very much in your emotions about something or maybe someone. It looks like a contract has been broken for some of you. And you're really feeling that separation. Feeling the depth of what you're going through because of that split, that contract being broken, that partnership ending of any nature, not necessarily just a loving or romantic partnership. Some sort of lengthy entanglement has come to an end for a lot of you. Others, you are still trying to make a decision about a lengthy entanglement, and that is what you are feeling your way through. That is what you are feeling the depth of, either the end of one, or trying to really being unable to make a decision about one. But you are feeling your way through. It looks like you are feeling empathetic toward feeling the depth of what you're going through, and also feeling empathy for the other person in the situation, the other half of the situation. And it looks like with the Temperance card coming through, there is a Sagittarian energy showing up for some of you. For others, there's your own energy, Scorpio energy, and or Cancer, or just the Pisces energy coming through, right? But with the Temperance card coming through, it does look like there is a way for these energies to join. So some of you are uncertain about choosing a path with a partner, about engaging or beginning the journey of a lengthy entanglement with someone. Some of you are really apprehensive about some sort of partnership forming, some sort of bond starting to form, maybe. And the Temperance card is saying that this can be a very beautiful combination, a divine combination, a combination that can ultimately create something else, invite a third part into the mix, right? Become something else together. This can be a very harmonious bond and partnership. Or if this was the end, if you're feeling your way through what was the end of a lengthy entanglement, and now you're at the close of that, then the Temperance card is showing up to say that energy is leaving in order to invite this type of harmonious blending in. It was making room for a positive combination, whereas this one may have been toxic, even poisonous. So you can see how the message will be slightly different for each individual Scorpio here. But that's what we see coming through for you in general at this time around the Pisces full moon. And I think for a lot of you Scorpios, it may be that you're wrestling with sort of an emotional versus practicality issue as far as this Lover's card in reverse is concerned. So for those of you who are still making a decision about possibly walking a new path with a new partner, take that into consideration too. We see possibly a decision that is, do you listen to your practical side? Do you listen to your emotional side? Maybe you just needing to temper your emotions about a situation if this is about a recent split that you're very emotional about, right? Needing to make sure you temper your emotions. I see that you're really doing that already, though, with the Queen of Cups upright as well. Sorry, I know that got a little bit loud there. And some of you may be needing to find forgiveness as well, Scorpios, if there has been a recent split that you've been very emotional about. Truly find forgiveness for yourself as well as the other party or parties involved in said split, right? Some of you just needing to adapt and find your equilibrium and handle the situation with poise if it's again a recent split that you've been emotional about. So again, that's what we see coming through in general for you around the Pisces full moon, Scorpios, and I hope the needed insight was able to reach you. If you are in need of a personal reading from me, just scroll down to the description box below. You can check out all of your options there. And we will move on to air signs. Gemini. Hi, Geminis. How are you doing? At and around the mutable water full moon, mutable air. The Eight of Pentacles, Eight of Earth in reverse pops out of the deck, and we have the Ace of Fire, Ace of Wands on the bottom of the deck, with the Tower card beneath that. So some of you Geminis aren't receiving enough for the energy, the work that you're putting in and putting out at this time, at your job, in your business, in your life in general. You just don't feel that you are earning enough in return. Or for some of you, there may be some illegal activity involved in whatever it is that you, however it is you are earning your money, perhaps. I think for a lot of you, in any case, the activity, the work that you're putting in, likely at work or in your business, but it just the work you're doing in general is not your favorite. It doesn't inspire you. You don't feel inspired to do it. You don't feel like you're creating and birthing something new. You don't feel passionate about it. It may be monotonous. It may be long hours, right? It's not something... It's not something that you would choose to do for at least that amount of time or so repetitively in that way, right? While for others of you, or even, for some of the same individuals, we may be seeing monotony because you really need to practice what it is that you are working on or would like to be working on, right? Or need to practice some new skills so that you can start earning in a new way, right? Because you're not, again, enjoying the monotony or long hours or the lack of rewards associated with the work that you're doing now. Some of you are artists of a certain type, working on something with your hands maybe, we may see that you're just not ready yet to share that project, to share that work, to show it, or it's not ready to earn you the amount that you want to see coming in eventually, which may be why we see this this lack of rewards for the work put out. It may just not be ready yet. Sorry, that's getting loud again. So yeah. It may just not be ready just quite yet. While others of you have been generally like misdirected toward work that you're not seeing enough rewards in or enjoying doing, or you're seeing a lot of like monotony and repetitive activity in it, right? But I do think that a breakthrough is coming, probably definitely as this passion, this inspiration is actually birthed, does actually become ready, right? That could create this unexpected upheaval, this breakthrough that is coming, or something is going to be shaking things up. A truth is going to be coming to light. I really feel like it has a lot to do with what inspires you. So if you are doing repetitive, monotonous work at this time that you aren't passionate about, I see that energy can just be blocked, and there is an inspiration or a passion project idea, something like that coming to mind. The divine, the multiverse is going to be handing you this gift of this burst of inspiration to really focus on something else, and birthing that, or even just seeing the vision for it and attempting to connecting with the inspiration could be this breakthrough for you, this burst of truth that is enlightening and does maybe shock and disturb you or others around you and shake things up and change your world sometimes completely, but is also it is also your truth, and it shakes your foundation for a reason, to get rid of what is not really secure or meant for you ultimately, and you can rebuild maybe your whole life or just your working life, something like that, in a fashion that pleases you more, and one that supports and suits you, that truly is for you, that is built around this burst of inspiration, probably this truth that will come through, right? And so it can be unexpected upheaval, but it will be this breakthrough. This enlightening information really about what you want to do, it looks like, or how you could do what you want to do. So that is what we see coming through for you, Geminis, around and following the Pisces full moon. If you are in need of a personal reading, just scroll down to the description box below. I hope the needed insight was able to reach you. And Libras, you're next. Hey Libras, this is your short reading, your short lunar pool for the full moon in Pisces. How is cardinal air faring in the season of mutable earth, with the full moon in mutable water? We are just before your season, of course, Libras, and it looks like you do have much to celebrate. A major life cycle closing around this time, another one beginning. It may be related to some sort of a disappointment for some of you. And so I think the World card is coming through to encourage you to celebrate, to acknowledge what there is to be celebrated about a major life cycle closing at this time. Possibly one for you, one of yours, right, Libras? For others, someone close to you. It looks like it involves you or someone leaving a group, having to leave a certain state or a certain place, right? And it looks like someone's having trouble making a sacrifice, letting go of the others that they have to leave, or letting someone leave, right? Someone feels that, you know, they will always be waiting for this other person in some way. There is Pisces energy coming through here. We're talking about the full moon in Pisces energy. But there's also an indication, Libras, that you're gaining so much at this time too. So I'm digging down into the deck a little more than I really intended to. I just couldn't help myself here with what I saw. There's actually a lot of Pisces energy here, so that may mean that it's a Pisces for some of you that you're dealing with, but I wouldn't get too hung up on the signs. As always, Libras, I would try to find a way to celebrate what you can about this major life cycle coming to a completion, coming to a close, a new life cycle starting. For some of you, if you are overindulging in drinking or anything like that, anything addictive, toxic, unhealthy for you, like drinking, that you could compare to overindulging in spirits, right? Over imbibing, I guess. Then as you celebrate, and you should, this major closing of a cycle, this graduation, so to speak, this new chapter of your life beginning, in a sense, you should make sure to try to rein that in, to not overindulge. I think it will be difficult for a lot of you even if you try, because for a lot of you, for some of you, because there's some disappointment here for some reason as you start this new life cycle. Whatever you're having trouble leaving behind, or whoever's having trouble leaving you behind, is causing some disappointment. There's something sort of tugging at you, right? So Libras, don't forget that it really feels pivotal, it feels vital, it feels important for you to mark this with some sort of celebration, to really acknowledge at least what there is to be celebrated about being in this position now where it seems like a lot of you are able to manifest in a whole new way, manifest brand new things for yourselves. Some of you, whatever you want at this point. The world is your oyster, so to speak. So, Libras, I hope that the needed insight was able to reach you there, that you are able to make the most of this Pisces full moon energy, or the time of whenever this may find you, I suppose, as well. And if you are in need of a personal reading, if you would like to order a personal reading from me, Libras, just scroll down to the description box below this video where you can find all of the information you need on that, as always. And with that, we will move forward on to Aquas, Aquarius's reading. Hey Aquas, how is the mutable full moon, the mutable water full moon, treating you during this mutable earth season, fixed air? Some of you feeling a little stuck, giving too much of your energy to someone who doesn't deserve it, having trouble speaking up, or speaking up very harshly about it. Trying to deal with all that while you're trying to make your dreams and your wishes come true, and indulge in the appropriate level of self-care in order to do such, right? So that's a pain and a half, Aquas. We will see if any of those energies there resurface for us. I need a drink of tea. Okay. Aquarians, fixed air. Let's see what messages want to come through for you during, surrounding, following the Pisces full moon, this Virgo season 2019, or whenever the messages may find you, as always. Aquas, if you are interested in ordering a personal reading from me, all of the information that you would need is down below in the description box, as always. The Judgment card, reversed, comes through for you. This is the Deviant Moon Tarot. If you are interested in this deck, that information is also in the description box below. And we have the Knight of Cups on the bottom of the deck. The Ten of Pentacles is showing below that. Aquarians, some of you are in need of finding forgiveness for yourself or someone else in your life who has affected you at this time. The Judgment card showing reverse. Some of you are just feeling unable to do that and feeling lost because of it. Lost in your mind, lost in your guilt, your pain, your guilt for some of you. While others simply aren't seeing the resurrection of something that they were very hopeful about. A love. So maybe a creative, emotional, heartfelt expression of yours that you were trying to put out into the world, show to someone else, other people. So like a project or a certain work that could be described that way, that you were trying to resurrect, or for others maybe it was a relationship. That you're not seeing a resurrection in, and it may be that you had been hopeful because someone was manipulating you. Whether or not they meant to is almost inconsequential, right? It looks like someone was making promises that they couldn't keep, making emotional offers that they couldn't live up to in the long run, they weren't totally sincere about. For some, for those dealing with a more of a relationship type of thing. Or even like a contract regarding some sort of emotional creative expression of yours. But yeah, overall, you know, you really do need to find forgiveness for not only that other person, but yourself as well. It really does look like someone was just making immature, premature offers that they couldn't live up to, couldn't keep. And again, the issue really isn't whether or not they knew that. And in some cases, they probably did. And in others, the manipulation was less intentional, right? Either way, it's made your energy very depleted. So it's affected your income, your wealth, and or it's affected your health. It's made you feel insecure, weak, lacking, maybe even made your household and like I said, your money unstable in some way. And it's really time for you to find forgiveness for yourself above all, so that you can start showing yourself this unconditional love again. Make these types of offers, but in a genuine, sincere, authentic way to yourself, and live up to them in the way that this person did not. It's time for that, right? Your mind, body, and spirit, your physical body and environment, your emotional body and health, your spiritual life, your mental energy and health all need attention. All need attention. And you may really be, as I said, I really think a lot of you are feeling insecure because of this whole situation, however the specifics shook out, right? And you may be really tempted to kind of overindulge in escapism of some sort around this time. It is the Pisces full moon. And really just in that, you know, you may be throwing away an opportunity to really take care of yourself, to show yourself how much you love yourself, to show your projects, your other passions, how much you love them, other areas of your life. This ending may just be so painful for you, some of you Aquas, that you're leaning toward escapism, overindulging in drugs, drink, partying, you know, just terrible over processed foods that aren't helping your mind or your body, et cetera, et cetera. You may be overindulging in things that instead of sort of showing yourself this unconditional love and taming those desires for things that ultimately are not helping you or the situation, right? And that, above all else, is why you, I think, need to find forgiveness for yourselves. That's a really sneaky way that you can sort of punish yourself and be mean to yourself, right? But especially if those insecurities are causing any anxiety in you, Aquarians, it, you know, will only worsen that, weaken that. Now, Aquarians, I will also say, and finally say before ending this was supposed to be short session, that if you are receiving offers from a Cancer, Piscean, or Scorpio around this time, or no, well, or more likely, if you are receiving offers from a Sagittarian at this time in particular, maybe a water sign too, maybe the water sign too. I sort of just had in mind what I wanted to say before I unpaused and then just flipped it. But certainly if it's a Sagittarian and you're unsure of them, you're considering their offer, you think the offers that they're making of affection or something that offers you emotional satisfaction may be premature or immature, and you're considering that, and maybe you feel a little bit confused about the answer to that, right? If that is the case, then I do think this is showing up saying that, yes, they may not mean to be manipulative. They may not mean to be making those premature or immature offers, but they are also maybe some confusion in the difference between feelings and emotions here, right? They may have a lot of emotions to offer you, an onset, a rush of emotions, but honestly, over time and with more consideration, their actual feelings about you or the situation may ultimately be different, which is why you might be sensing that, and that's causing you to weigh that offer to consider it. But that's just very specific for those of you dealing with a Sagittarian energy around this time, right? Hey, Virgos. Okay. That was a poor transition. I just realized, Aquarians. I hope the needed insight was able to reach you, and if you are interested in ordering a personal reading from me, just scroll down to the description box below. And with that, we will switch over to Virgos. Virgos, I've already shuffled and let a card fall out for you. The Temperance card came out in reverse. You are needing and seeking balance, as a lot of people are at this time in some area around the Pisces full moon in your season. The Star card reverse is on the bottom of the deck. The Judgment card reverse is here with that as well. And the Sun card in the reverse wanted to show there is a lack of forgiveness here, maybe for yourself and or others. There is a lack of faith and belief in yourself, a lack of then being able to live and express authentically, Virgos. So when we see the Temperance card in reverse, there may have been a bad combination in your life that needed to separate, and or you may need to reevaluate at this time, find a way to adapt, some of you Virgos, as this finds you. Some of you in this energy may be rash, may be harsh with others. This is a time when a lot of, as I said, forgiveness, but also just healing in general really needs to occur. I think that forgiveness is the next step, and some healing that needs to occur for a lot of you Virgos. A lack of balance in some area, forgiveness, patience, or a need to just reevaluate. Maybe causing a blockage as far as certain wishes or dreams of yours coming true at this time. There may be a lack of connection to nature, maybe a lack in having faith in yourself, belief in yourself and your own abilities to heal, to make certain dreams of yours come true, because you have forgotten that you are connected to nature in a sense. Or are forgetting to connect with nature as part of your journey, as part of your healing, something that you need as part of your constant healing in a daily sense, even if there isn't a major healing that you're aware of occurring, and I think for a lot of you there is. It might be connected for some of you to a resurrection you were hoping to see happen, not happening after all. For others, there's just been some ego drama and heartbreak in the past that it looks like you have been seeing relief from and peace after, but there's just still this period of healing occurring from all of that. And maybe that is where we see a lack of a resurrection that you were hoping to see come through. Again, the cards are advising you to, as painful as it may be, visit the fact that this was a bad combination, and the ways in which you can clearly see this was a bad combination. If that is the case, and also to keep in mind that it is always darkest before the dawn. That is, it looks like the type of time period that a lot of Virgos are going through currently. Seeking healing outside of yourself, and truly ultimately finding that what you're seeking is this faith and belief in your own ability to see that journey through, to really reinvent yourself. For some of you is what needs to be said, to live again after some of the things that have happened in your past. This is the secret of renovation, right? It is the spirit of nature to me, and our connection to it. Some of you are needing to, as part of your healing, investigate your birth chart at this time, Virgos. That could be very helpful in your journey and you getting to know yourself, taking this next step in forgiveness. There may be something for you to learn about yourself that really, it kind of explains some of your actions or responses in the situations that have occurred recently that you're healing from, that may free you in a way. It may really give you a new right to forgive yourself, which is ultimately what's going to be really important for you. So Virgos, that's what we see coming through for you, surrounding and following the Pisces full moon. I hope that you are making the most of this energy and your season as it comes to a close. And with that, I hope the needed insight was able to reach you. And if you are interested in ordering a personal reading from me, information on personal readings can be found down below in the description. And we will move on now to Capricorns. Hey Capricorns, this is your reading for the Pisces full moon. The Three of Air reversed. The Six of Fire, Six of Wands reversed on the bottom of the deck. So a lot of you are also in a period of healing, as we just saw that Virgos are. Seeing your way through a period of healing, acknowledging what part you played in whatever has disappointed you. This might be sheer heartbreak. This might just be disappointing communication because it was a miscommunication even Capricorns. So it'll be sort of on a spectrum there for different Capricorns, but you are seeing relief and healing from that which disappointed you in some way here in the past at this time. So lovely to see that healing really beginning for you. For some of you, it's at long last, but still this disappointment, this miscommunication, or again, could have even been a downright heartbreak, did cause a loss in your life in some respect. Maybe in a passion project, something you were working on, or it could have been in a relationship. You lost some energy to this disappointment. You lost in losing a person, perhaps, or a miscommunication caused you to lose in some way in work that you're passionate about at this time. It may have been, for those of you that were dealing with someone else specifically, it looks like it may have been a fire sign here, a feminine energy, Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. For others, it could have also been a Virgo energy. I wouldn't get too hung up on the signs. There may have been some passion lacking actually with this person, if it was a person that you feel like you've lost here. And it looks like this disappointment could have had to do with not achieving financial independence for some. For others, it could have been a disappointment that had to do with someone just not wanting to be alone in some way. Actions they took because they just didn't want to be alone. Maybe even for some, a three-party situation here sometimes can be. So the message is always going to be slightly different for each individual. And timing being fluid, the timing in which it plays out is also always slightly different. But that in general is what we see coming through for you Capricorns. For cardinal earth during this mutable water moon in mutable earth season, Virgo season. I hope you all are making the most of the full moon energy, making the most of the end of Virgo season in general, Capricorns, and that the needed insight here was able to reach you. If you are interested in ordering a personal reading from me, just scroll down to the description box below this video. You can check out all of your options there. And we will move forward on to fixed earth Taurians. Hey Taurus, this is your reading for the Pisces full moon in 2019 during Virgo season, of course. How is fixed earth faring during mutable earth season while the moon is in mutable water? Well, Bulls, it looks like you're wanting to rush forward in some way for some reason around this time, wanting to move up quickly. Yeah, you're not seeing success as quickly as you'd like to, or you are experiencing success, but it's the very beginning of it, and it's taking way too long for the fruits of your labor to sort of blossom and bloom for you to be able to actually utilize those rewards or see enough of them. It's taking too long for a project to bear you fruits, basically. You're wanting to make it go quicker. You're wanting to rush it along, force it along, come up quickly in your place of work or push your business along, right? Interesting. So we really see possibly for some of you even some, lack mindsets and mind states that aren't helping your situation. Some genuine fear of lack ruling you at this time. Maybe a warning of not trusting anyone, or perhaps being mistrusting of everyone. So if you find that you're being mistrusting of everyone around this time, then I think it's just an energy that's coming through with that fear of lack. But if you find that you are questioning a deal that you might make in order to help yourself move up quickly, it may be this need to rush ahead at this time that's really encouraging you, and this fear of lack that's really encouraging you to make that deal, when really you should be mindful of that particular deal or offer or investment, right? Some of you are just in general choosing to sort of give up on something that is not going to be rewarding quickly enough for you. Probably something related to your finances, your money, your resources, certainly related to your time, your energy, your physical world. Yeah, we see insecurity, some anxiety, some need to sort of get away from the situation in general. It looks like if this project that is taking quite a while to, as I said, blossom, to bear you fruits and enough rewards to really justify the amount of time you're investing in it, Taurians, is something that you're actually resurrecting from your past. I don't see that resurrection coming to pass. And that may be why you're sensing it's time to sort of just give up on something that is taking too long. But you always want to listen to your intuition about that. I think Taurians, at this time, you do see the truth. If it's something you're certainly not going to let die, you're going to keep trying to revive, you're going to keep investing time in until it blossoms, then you already know that assuredly, that there's no way you're too invested. You've already taken the first step or steps forward, and you're stubbornly just deciding to wait, then you know that. And I also think on the opposite side, those of you who can see that you need to just throw in the towel on this particular project or work and move on to the next thing that will be more rewarding for you, I think that you see that clearly. You know that already. So this is really just a confirmation. It shouldn't be making the decision for you. And for those of you who already know you're going to stick with it no matter what you're working on, even though it is taking too long and it's frustrating, I think it's you then who need to be really careful of making a deal in order to help things move up quickly. Really pay attention to the details and read the fine print as far as making any deals that might expedite your progress, when you know that maybe what you just need is to be patient and move steadily and slowly ahead in order to build the security and earn really the security that is ultimately coming if you've already set your heart on something and won't give up on it, right? So with that, Taurians, I do hope the needed insight was able to reach you. If you are interested in ordering a personal reading from me, just scroll down to the description box below where you can find all of the needed information to do that. I hope that you make the most of this Pisces full moon energy and the end of Virgo season in general. This is the Deviant Moon Tarot that we have been using. Information about this deck can also be found below in the description. And with that, Taurians, we will move on to Sagittarians. Mutable fire. How are you faring during the mutable water full moon, Sagittarians? Some of you experiencing some disappointments, even heartbreaks, disappointing communications, needing to walk away from someone or something that is just not for your highest good, just not for you, just not serving you anymore. And it's difficult. It's heartbreaking. It may have had to do with a three-party situation, but certainly a disappointment. Leaving a group, leaving a place, leaving a person, right? Leaving maybe toxic habits, patterns, behaviors behind, something that you were very attached to. Wow. So the King and Queen of Pentacles both pop out of the deck for you together. The Queen in reverse, Sag, and the Ace of Pentacles also in the reverse on the bottom of the deck, with the Five of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles below that. Certainly think this has to do with your physical material realm at this time, Sagittarians, with your wealth and your health, right? First of all, the obvious, if you are dealing with a masculine, mature, masculine earth sign energy, Sages, Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurians, they look secure. They look healthy and wealthy, and like someone for you to hold on to. And on the opposite side, if you are dealing with a mature, feminine earth energy, again, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, then they look insecure, unstable, maybe unhappy, not as wealthy and healthy energetically at this time, and like someone who may be trying to hold on to you tightly, maybe someone you need to actually protect your boundaries from. That's just an obvious thing coming through for us. For a lot of you, you are feeling this energy of the King of Pentacles upright at this time, Sag. You are feeling stable and secure in your financial realm and your physical realm. You have enough time, you have enough energy, you have enough money. You have plenty of resources, whatever they may be, that you need to keep your community, your home, your environment, your surroundings, your physical realm and world, your material realm and world secure and safe and provided for, right? And yet we see instability and insecurity showing up because of a lack mindset that has somehow stuck with you, even though you have acquired all that you need, plenty that you need, plenty of what you need, right, Sag? And you may be in this energy of hoarding then that time, that money, that energy, those resources, right? Maybe because you had a lack mindset and a lack in environment reflected because of that mindset in your past. It may be creeping back in and telling you to save up and stock up and store up. And the Four of Pentacles comes with a warning sometimes that miserly energy, holding on too tightly to your energy, your money, your time, your resources, being too greedy, too selfish with your physical resources in that way, can cause that lack mindset to come back in, and then can create cracks in this very, very stable environment you've built, invite this anxiety, this insecurity, this fear in, right? So we do want to keep that in mind. Are you being as generous as you can be now that you have this wealth, if that is the case for you? Are you blocking the flow of resources coming in with this Four of Pentacles energy, right? Because you are so guarded and your boundaries are shut so tightly that you don't let anything out, but you also can't allow more energy, more wealth, and so subsequently health to flow into you. You know, just a good question to ask yourself around this time, Sag. And you know, the opposite is also true, because the Four of Pentacles can be talking about you guarding your boundaries, right? Or at the same time, are you being very generous? Do you have so much wealth that you are lending, and perhaps lending too much to the wrong people? Does that resonate more? Is, you know, are you being really sympathetic because you relate to their lack state and mindset because that's what you once had? You've seen a reversal of fortune, and so you see others who deserve that. You know, you really have to listen to your intuition on that one for sure, because the Queen of Pentacles reverse can also be talking about investing too much, loaning too much, spending too much because you have so much. But I see this Four of Pentacles energy more as talking to the miserly side, which is why it's the longer message that I gave first. But it just can also be talking about protecting your boundaries too. So just be very keen, very well researched on your investments and your loans. I guess, like, if someone is asking for a loan, do you know others that they have loaned from? What is their reputation on those sorts of things? Have they burned you in the past on those sorts of things? Even just, again, just good questions to ask yourself around this time, Sagittarians. I hope that the needed insight was able to reach you there, that you're making the most of the Pisces full moon energy and the end of Virgo season in general. If you are interested in ordering a personal reading from me, just scroll down to the description box below where you can find all the information that you need. If you're interested in the deck that we are using, this is the Deviant Moon Tarot, and information about that can be found in the description box below as well. And with that, Sag, we are going to move forward to Aries, Cardinal Fire. The Hermit and the Eight of Fire, Aries. Some of you are very much in a rush throughout, have been very much in a rush throughout Virgo season. We also have the Two of Fire, the Two of Wands here. So I also think that rushing has been because of expedited progress, heading in the direction that you truly want to go, heading down the path you truly want to create for yourself, heading toward the destiny that you truly want to choose and create for yourself using your free will, free of outside influences or negative, toxic, subconscious influences, Aries. A lot of you also have a lot of communication that has been happening throughout all of Virgo season. Some of you really trying to get out of that energy, get away from all of that communication. There have been lots of messages, and for a lot of you, as I said, expedited progress. And it's been maybe a little too much for some of you during Virgo season, a little overwhelming. Some of you are trying to get away from it, trying to withdraw, looking for some solitude, some peace and quiet, some time for reflection, introspection, personal growth and development. Some of you are rushing through your work so fast, this expedited progress, this communication, these communications so quickly in order to get the work done and have some time for yourself, or just in order to keep up with everything right. That you may be miscommunicating with someone or multiple people even. You may be missing some messages or misunderstanding some messages, right? Maybe even being too harsh with some messengers, where you should be diplomatic, understanding, tactful, at least strategic, right? If this is related to business or passion projects of yours, any sort of work of yours. Or even if it's just a part of your spiritual journey and advancement in general, right? But if you are or start to have this nagging sense that you have this need for, as I said, quiet time, just for you to be at peace and at rest and to do that introspective work, it's for a reason. You truly do need some meditation, and you should allow time for that as well. Know that you have such powerful potential at this time, Aries, to exercise that free will and make choices that will ripple into your future, perhaps even affect your whole life. You are truly in control of your own destiny because you see all of the potential influences on you, and you are making your choices outside of those things, with those influences taken into consideration and dismissed when necessary, right? Some of you have been dealing with a Virgo energy specifically. With two Virgo cards here showing up, but I wouldn't get too hung up on the signs. So some of that may be related to a Virgo for some of you, or just that, we are in Virgo season. And for some of you, this is about you trying to achieve some sort of financial or otherwise physical independence. So that is what I see coming through for you, Aries. I do hope that the needed insight was able to reach you. If you are interested in need of a personal reading and would like to order one from me, you can just scroll down to the description box below where you can find all of the information you would need about personal readings and to get in contact with me about them if that's the way you prefer to handle it. If you are interested in the deck that we have been using, Aries, this is the Deviant Moon Tarot, and information about this deck can be found down below in the description as well. Otherwise, I hope that you are making the most of this Pisces full moon energy, of the end of Virgo season in general, and that you continue to do so at the beginning of Libra season. And with that, Aries, we will move on to Leo. Hey, Leos. We had quite a few cards flip already, but we are just going to keep shuffling for just a minute. This is, excuse me, this is your reading for the Devil card wanted to show for us, Leos, addressing some toxic attachments, behaviors, habits, trying to rebuild after having done so. But I interrupted myself, didn't I? We are doing your reading for the Pisces full moon, the mutable water full moon. During mutable earth season, let's see how those energies are treating Leos, the King of Swords as well. Okay, so some of you have been dealing with an Aquarius, a Libra, a Gemini. I wouldn't get too hung up on it if the signs don't resonate. It seems like a lot of messages want to come through for a lot of different Leos. Or someone just has a lot to say around the Pisces full moon, a lot they want to talk about. So let's see what messages want to come through for you now, Leos, surrounding and following the Pisces full moon. Just before the start of Libra season, coming up soon, right? There's that Devil card again. Toxicity, unhealthy attachments, unhealthy addictions, instincts, unhealthy instincts even, having developed certain thought patterns, reactions, ways of speaking to ourselves or speaking things we don't really want into life, in our lives, that are really just such patterns, habits, at this point, having formed them so young that they can even be like terrible instincts that we have, right? That desire, need, tendency to give into our baser nature and indulge those things that aren't exactly healthy for us, like perhaps a connection that infects our home, our inner circle, our emotional peace, our family even, is what is happening for some of you, Leos. And there is a painful ending to what was a negative cycle here that has probably you, but certainly someone, feeling very fragile. It looks like the end to what was a lengthy entanglement, maybe a poisonous, painful entanglement, but also maybe a soul contract, certainly a bond in which trust was at least implied, right? But there may have been some abuse, some mistruths told, some betrayal or abuse in some way, shape, or form, an abuse of that connection, right? So this person who's left very fragile, if this is you, Leos, you do want to keep in mind that in that state, you can even become numb. So this fragility can show as a result of this ending, and it certainly is the end of a cycle in your life with 2 10s showing up for you, Leos, and 1010 may be particularly significant to you around that time. Researching that number could even give you additional messages if that's what you're looking for. This ending is painful but also necessary, and this fragility that comes with it, it can be overwhelming emotion, sharing too much, too often, with too many, with people you shouldn't trust, or just being completely ruled by that, or shutting it off and going completely numb and kind of cold in order to avoid being overwhelmed by those emotions, right? So if that is the case, then once you're in that space, you might even become manipulative, be too harsh with people, just be sort of irrational, right? So those are things to keep in mind. It looks like you may have been dealing with a wolf in sheep's clothing. Some of you, Leos, when we see the 10 of Cups and it's as it is reversed. It's certainly the picture of an unhappy home, usually. Someone may have had a wedding called off specifically. That's very specific for some, though. There's certainly a situation, a familial situation where that is feeling loveless to someone involved at this time. Maybe just because of disputes, family disputes specifically, right? Yeah. There's just not this shared emotional fulfillment in this situation for you, Leos, and that if you're feeling very fragile about this ending, if it is very painful for you, that's what you want to keep in mind. This cycle is closing for that reason, because this isn't somewhere where you can have the shared emotional fulfillment that you were hoping for, that you were dreaming of, that you were hoping to have with this person. That's not someone who can deliver that for you. And I think it's just very painful because for a lot of you, the entanglement with this partner or individual or this path even was very lengthy. And so it's very hard for you to give up on this person or this path for you, right? And that's completely understandable. What is maybe almost too ironic for you to accept or like for me to mention at this time is that the World card is showing because there is much for you to celebrate about the ending of this cycle, and ultimately you will see that. That's not something you need to force yourself into at this time, but ultimately that's a place that you will move into. And if it is work related, I think that it's moving you toward work that you love to do so much that you don't even notice the time passing, even if it means a big change. So Leos, I do hope that the needed insight was able to reach you there. If you are interested in ordering a personal reading from me, just scroll down to the description box below where you can check out all of your options. If you're interested in the deck that I was using, this is the Deviant Moon Tarot. I love this deck. And you can find information about this deck in the description box down below as well. And with that, Leos, I hope that you are making the most of this Pisces full moon energy and the end of Virgo season in general, and I hope that you will continue to do so as we enter Libra season very soon. And I'll post another reading for us as soon as I can.